was a really tough week this week for the guys sitting behind the scenes at Squaresoft. Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn was pre-released to pre-order and special customers 3 days before the official launch. Not that we had much time to play it, of course. The game was riddled with multiple login errors on the first couple of days, which Squaresoft now explained was server overload. Now, all MMOs have a problem on launch day, right? Well, this time it was a bit different. This was due to the mass server overload on the EU servers, which has actually led to Squaresoft not only limiting accounts, but they're actually stopping sales of the game whilst allowing current users to only create one character per account, well, at least until the worst passes by. This is in a massive contrast to the disaster that was Final Fantasy XIV, where most of the servers were like ghost towns. Is this a good sign that people actually still want to play a game that flopped the first time round? Well, to put it bluntly, Final Fantasy XIV was a disaster. It had poor graphics quality, still demanded a higher PC to play at 60 frames a second, the storyline wasn't exciting, and the EU player base was tiny. The question was a chore rather than something you want to immerse yourself in. Well, things have undergone a massive change now, and they've completely redesigned Final Fantasy Online, and it's now known as Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, and I delved deep into the world of Eorzea to see if Squaresoft can revive a game that was somewhat already dead and buried. Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn takes place in the fictional land of Eorzea, 5 years after the events of the original release. At the conclusion of Final Fantasy XIV, the primal dragon Bahamut escapes from its prison inside an artificial moon to initiate the 7th Umbral Era, an apocalyptic event which destroys the whole of Eorzea. Through the god's blessing, the player character escapes the devastation by time travelling 5 years into the future. As Eorzea recovers and rebuilds, the player must deal with the impending threat of invasion by the Garlean Empire from the north. Character creation in Final Fantasy Online A Realm Reborn looks incredible, really sleek and really easy to navigate. There are multiple customization options that give you a diverse amount of creation possibility to make your character look and feel exactly how you want it to. The characters themselves follow the traditional Final Fantasy themes and look beautiful. You get to choose your own birth date and your own religion or deity, which is known as, which slightly affects your base stats as well. The one thing I didn't really like though was the surname, which you're forced to pick. I couldn't actually find a way around this and found it quite annoying, as I feel it's easier to identify with others in the game, or any MMO for that matter, just by the first name. But overall, the broad range of customization options given that make your Final Fantasy II look awesome makes the whole experience incredible, enjoyable and rewarding. Another great thing about A Realm Reborn is that every character can play every class. The game features the Archer, the Gladiator, the Lancer, the Marauder, the Pugilist, the Conjurer and the Thaumaturge. A great range of classes that should suit everyone's playstyle and again follows traditional Final Fantasy themes. You're stuck into one class until you hit level 10, and once you've done the quest in your first class, as soon as you've done that, you can start unlocking and playing other classes on your character. Even better still is that the abilities that you learn in one class can be used for your first class and vice versa. For example, if you level a Gladiator and want to try playing a Marauder, you can gain access to several of your Gladiator defensive skills to help you tanking, as well as all your Marauder's DPS skills, which is great. It's good to know that you can create a hybrid style of class that should suit every way that you want to play. Questing in The Realm Reborn is pleasurable. I wouldn't say it's too much different from your normal MMO, but it follows a decent path through the starting zones, which is your home for the first 15 levels of play, and are designed to teach you the basic mechanics of the game, and you follow quests like you would expect from any MMO. Gather this, kill that, etc. One thing that is annoying though is that there isn't any spoken text during questing. It's all dialogue with the added huff or puff audible in your earphone, which is something I really would like to have seen, whereas other MMOs like Star Wars The Old Republic did it really well. The world of Eorzea though is interesting enough, however, and the quests follow a decent path winding through the zones, so you can see a lot of content. When you hit level 15, as long as you kept up with your campaigns, the real journey begins, and you have the chance to travel to 3 other continents and finally group up with other players and do some dungeons. The combat system in A Realm Reborn feels a lot more fluid and trouble-free compared to the first Final Fantasy Online game. During combat you have free reign to move around, and the group killing is a rich experience which is really fun and enjoyable to compete in. In fact, the game has a rift style system where random mobs will unearth themselves in the middle of a zone, and you and your fellow adventurers can band together and take them all out. And when completed you receive a bag of spores with money, armour and some experience. It kind of brings you all together into one place just like Rifted and works really well. There's nothing groundbreaking here with the combat system, but the formula is solid and tested, and I feel that group combat will be an integral part of this game, like it should be in any MMO. One thing that sticks out about Realm Reborn is the excellent music and soundscaping in the game. The music follows the traditional Final Fantasy sound style and in short sounds incredible. The music flows through the game with an array of orchestral arrangements with a great aura of that magical, mystical feel that Final Fantasy does so well. This works brilliantly in the game and really creates an amazing atmosphere to play in. The game also looks brilliant and is vastly improved from the first offering. Running the game on a full desktop graphics is a real pleasure and far superior than other titles in the genre at the moment. The whole environment is steeped in magic and the graphics complement this by being bright, vast, colourful and vivid and really sharp, which really adds to the value of the excellent music. The landscapes look really mythical and magical and the cities look great as well. They've definitely improved on this over the first game, which really required a high machine but with no real reward in terms of graphics. Overall, the whole experience of A Realm Reborn is positive. Apart from the initial server loading problems and downtime, the title was vastly improved over the first game, and apart from a few small personal gripes such as the need for a surname and the written quest text, nearly everything has been reworked on and been revamped. If you're a fan of the MMORPG genre and a fan of Final Fantasy games in general, I'd definitely recommend A Realm Reborn. It will not disappoint you in making you feel part of that special world that is always created by Squaresoft and Final Fantasy. Now, this game doesn't differ majorly from any other MMO, but Squaresoft have promised constant patching and quarterly updates so that the game will always feel fresh and new. I really hope this rebirth will now allow the game to flourish into the great game we all expected the first time around, and not get stuck in infancy like its predecessor.